So I thought I used to know exactly what kind of books I liked. Something fast-paced, straightforward, and with simple language, because I am a simple man. So when I started hearing people talk about this book here, which is The Assassin's Apprentice, I'm not sure if that is mirrored for you guys, but it's The Assassin's Apprentice, and people would use words like beautiful descriptions and wonderful prose, and I had to look up what prose even meant. I didn't even have a clue what prose meant. And to be honest, even after reading the definition, I'm still not 100% sure what it means. People talk about how slow-paced it is and how intimate it is, so I was like, well, I'm probably never going to like this, and I'm probably never going to read it. And then I saw this book sat on a shelf at a second-hand bookstore near me, and I think it was £1 or £2, and I was like, okay, well, I'll buy it, and might never read it, but maybe one day I will. And I've finally given it a go, and I can definitely say it has completely changed the way I look at what books I'm going to be choosing in the future. I obviously went ahead and bought the second book, The Royal Assassin, in that series, but you might also notice back here on this shelf here, I even went and bought a Malazan book, the first one of them, thinking, you know what, if I can do some Robin Hobb, maybe I can even tackle Malazan, or Malazan, I'm not actually sure how you say that one. And the funny thing is, everyone was right about their description about the book. In the first 100 pages, nothing really happens of major note. And the descriptions are very full and the language is very pretty, but I actually liked it. As I was reading this book, I genuinely believe it is the story that I felt the most involved with. With Robin Hobb's descriptions of the world and the situation, and even delving into the emotions of the main character Fitz, I genuinely felt like I was in the world more than any other book I've ever read. I could see vividly what the scene was supposed to look like in my mind's eye, whereas sometimes when I'm reading I sort of glaze over a little bit and I'm like, okay, I get it, they're in a city, yeah, let's move on. And that made me care more deeply for the characters and more deeply for the story. Now, as I said earlier, I am just a simple man, so I probably can't articulate why that is. This book is written in first person, and I think it's probably the first book I've read that is written in first person, so maybe that perspective helps quite a lot at me understanding the character more. Or maybe it is the beautiful prose and the long descriptions of the scene that Robin Hobb does throughout this book. Now, for those of you who haven't read The Assassin's Apprentice, it's a book about the bastard son of a prince that ends up getting brought back into the royal family somewhat and training as an assassin, hence the name, Assassin's Apprentice, for the king. But the real story is how lonely Fitz is and how out of place he always feels wherever he ends up. And with the writing from Robin Hobb, you really feel these emotions come straight out of the page and hit you straight in the heart. Now, this is a fantasy book and there is magic, but it is so subtly done that it's not a big focus in the book at all. And once again, it is described in such a way that it feels magical. I've read all of the books in the Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere, and although I do like hard magic systems where you actually understand the mechanics behind the magic, there is something just magical about not really understanding how it works, but it has very subtle but impactful points within the story. Even the world building, which is quite a hard thing to do in fantasy stories, is dense, but at the same time she does it in such a way that it's subtle and it's quiet. There's no long expositions where you have to really focus and understand what's going on. She does it in such a way that you don't even know you're basically having a history lesson about the world. And I think what surprised me most that I actually liked it is there's no clever twists that I usually like in a book, and there's no, punchy one-liners or anything like that, but I still loved it. And since then, I've stopped trying to rush through books so I can get on to the next one, and I've actually just started Eye of the World, which is the first book in the Wheel of Time series, which I've always been a bit intimidated with because people say quite similar things about the writing, and they're massive books, and there's like 14 or 15 of them, I think. And as I said, I've even bought Malazan, the first of the Malazan books, so I can give that a go as well, because maybe I'm not as simple as I thought. So I found a new love for books that take their time, don't have to shout to get your attention, and that trust me to notice the subtle things. So if you were like me and you were always chasing the next fast read and you're looking for the next big plot twist, I challenge you to read The Assassin's Apprentice. And if you've already read it, please let me know down in the comments what you liked or didn't like about the book. I'm just about to start this. Literally after I finish editing this video, I'm going to be starting the book 2. So let me know if you've read the entire series, which of the books is your favourite and why.